Get ready, because you're about to witness a Navy SEAL absolutely humiliate an FBI official after she says just something downright despicable about how she views the FBI in the modern political era. Folks, buckle up because it's a good one and I think you're gonna like it. But first, do me a huge favor, like our video and also share it around, and that way we can keep bringing y'all this great, hard-hitting content. As always, Patriots, I'm your host, Darian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
Ma'am, I'm asking you a serious question. Not the slightest. Well, that's pretty sad, ma'am. That really is. And it really shows who your allegiances are to. It really does. And as somebody who served this country myself, I want to make a comment about something that one of my colleagues who just left the room said. You know, he made a reference to the former president of the United States and his family and their known business dealings in China and other places. You know, I found it interesting because one of the biggest differences between the Trump family and their foreign business dealings and the Biden family and their foreign business dealings is that the Trump family actually owns businesses. They actually own hotels and resorts, okay? Pretty stark difference from what we're learning, what many of us knew and now we're actually learning as the Oversight and Judiciary Committee actually get to bring in witnesses. You know, the sad thing is for everybody in this room, everybody in this town, everybody in this country knows that if the FBI and our DOJ had the type of damning information, hard evidence, bank records, etc., on the money laundering that this president, his family have been up to the last couple years, and their names were Eric and Don Jr., we wouldn't even be having this hearing. You know why? They'd be in jail. And this is exactly the type of thing I was talking about, Ms. Murphy. And this is exactly why so many of your colleagues have had enough and they've become whistleblowers. Ms. Murphy, what do you think about that? So many of your colleagues have had enough.
The different sets of standards are just mind-numbingly stupid and irritating. We know the obvious. Trump is a convicted felon. They try to sentence him to basically life in prison. Lock him away forever. Truly disgusting people. But even on a smaller level, remember the mortgage fraud case that Letitia James launched against Trump? He was determined to have to pay $454 million with a capital M dollars in fines over that because he supposedly overvalued Mar-a-Lago. It's such a corrupt case. It's obvious lawfare. You know what they valued Trump's Mar-a-Lago property at? $20 million. Are you serious? Get the heck out of here. You know, there was a dirt lot right by Mar-a-Lago that sold for $200 million. Okay? So that's a true story. You can look that up. The New York Post reported on it. And you're going to tell me that Trump is this kind of extreme criminal that he has to pay almost $500 million? That's crazy. That's sick. That's evil. As for Joe Biden, we're going to talk more about him in a bit.
What do you think about the whistleblowers that just said, I can't do it anymore? I can't cover for the organization, the institution that I work for because I didn't swear an oath to them. I actually swore an oath to the United States and the Constitution. What do you think about that, ma'am? Do you feel like they betrayed the institution, or are you glad that they're up here?
Sir, I appreciate the question.
Yeah.
You know, I'm proud and I'm happy that we live in a country where there's whistleblower protection acts and that people can come forward when they think things have been done incorrectly. You know, like I support the FBI. I think the FBI does amazing work.
You know, ma'am, I think they do some amazing work too. But I think we both know that its reputation is massively tarnished.
Let me ask you something. If you've built up $100,000 or more in investments, do you really want all of it riding in the stock market? Think about it. Banks, billionaires, even entire countries are loading up on physical gold and silver. Why? Because when markets swing, real assets hold their value. That's why I want to tell you about Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to own investment-grade gold and silver, the same kind that the big players are buying. And you can actually hold it in your hand or put it safely in your retirement account. You've worked hard to build your wealth. Isn't it time that you protected it? Noble Gold is family-owned, trusted by thousands, and ranks #1 in gold IRAs 4 years in a row. Their precious metal specialists are standing by, ready to answer your questions and walk you through every step. Simple, safe, easy. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. It's time to protect what you've built.
And I think we're both glad that we have whistleblower provisions in this country. But I think if you weren't under oath and we weren't wearing these clothes and in this room right now and we were having a private conversation, I sure hope there's part of you that is embarrassed and disgusted with what the FBI has been up to. And I know the American people are. I mean, look at the movies growing up. You guys are in like every movie as the hero. When you were a little girl and you were watching movies growing up, did you notice that? Those cool blue jackets with the bright yellow lettering, the FBI on it. Was that pretty cool watching those movies growing up and those TV shows and now getting to work for this organization?
It's amazing to work for this organization. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is there a part of you though that feels torn, ma'am? Like the whistleblowers that are coming up here now in droves that just say, I can't do it anymore. I didn't swear an oath to the FBI. Is there a part of you that feels torn or not at all?
They should be ashamed because it's obvious that the FBI has zero interest in pursuing any kind of justice, not at least against the people that they seem to disagree with politically or whatever it might be. Remember the big guy emails that were sent between, Hunter Biden and some of his business associates? We all know that was probably Joe Biden. Tony Bobolinsky, that longtime Biden business partner, said so himself. The FBI then seized the Hunter Biden laptop. But did they do anything? Seems like it's nothing. I'm not seeing any justice or trial for Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, or any of these people. But anytime they could try to frame Trump, they sure did it. Remember Operation Crossfire Hurricane, which is to say the Russia hoax, the Russian collusion hoax? The FBI was literally trying to frame people in the Trump campaign to say that they were colluding with Russia to win him the 2016 election. It's sick what they did and got away with. And how can we forget the infamous FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago? That was just, I think, about 3 years ago, maybe less. That was insane. The media saying, oh, Trump violated the law and this and that. All a bunch of garbage and baloney. It's evil what these organizations are doing.
Ma'am, I'm asking you a serious question.
Sir, I'm very proud to work for the FBI. I think I stated that.
I know you are. That's not what I asked you, ma'am. I asked you if you feel torn.
Not at the least.
Not the slightest.
Wow.
That's pretty sad, ma'am. That really is. And it really shows who your allegiances are to. It really does. And as somebody who served this country myself,
wow.
And I come from a very proud unit, the SEAL teams. I know that my allegiances are not to NSW, Naval Special Warfare. They're not to a SEAL team. And I am glad. I am so proud that we have men and women who see their oath to this country and they said, I can't do it anymore. I'm going to go try and straighten this out so that the organization that I love can maybe, just maybe, be turned around, quit being a partisan tool, and actually protect the American people, which it clearly is not doing right now.
That's pretty sad, man. Jokes aside, it seems like the FBI is absolutely addicted to going after their political enemies instead of actually pursuing justice and the truth, which, from my understanding, that was what they're supposed to be about. But, anyways. Hey, by the way, do you remember that time when a terrorist who was groomed by an FBI agent went and up a place and the FBI agent fled the scene while he was right after he was encouraging the guy to do that? Yeah. That was just a few years ago, and I haven't seen any justice for that, so, but what can you do? With all that being said, folks, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you haven't already, make sure you comment below. Let us know what you like about the clip, what kind of stuff you want to see in the future, and we will see you again soon. Also, hit that subscribe button. Thank you. God bless.